There, welcome to Bible Slash Chat. Hi, guys.
Hi, John. How are you?
Hey, we have a quick announcement.
I thought you were going to do the announcement. That's why.
I know. I tried to catch you off guard. It's fun. It's more fun to catch you off guard.
I love that.
We do.
Please,
I love that.
Please do this.
We do have a quick announcement. We put in another video before, but we are going to try to release these Monday, Wednesday, Friday more consistently, more regularly.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, we're trying to have a little bit of a schedule. We do
It's how often you run, too.
It's how often I run. I run every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then once in a while, we'll throw in a bonus episode on a Tuesday or a Thursday. But you can expect a video Monday, Wednesday, Friday going forward.
Perfect.
Or a podcast, wherever you listen to this.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so we have a question. We're continuing our series on Christian dating.
Yeah.
We have some more questions. I have a question for you.
That'd be great. I'd love to answer questions.
There's actually... It's actually just ridiculous. Okay, we have two. Actually, there's a first question and there's a follow-up question. Yeah. You have this couple. They're dating. They're both believers. They want to get married. They've talked about it together, and they're like, "Hey, this is what direction we feel like our hearts are going." We don't arrange marriages in America. Is there anybody that the guy needs permission from and the girl needs permission from in order for them to get married?
Yeah. That's actually a really good question, right? I kind of feel like I just answered this question.
We did have a little technical difficulty. I coughed a lot. Anyway, technically, I coughed, which made us have to stop the video and re-record. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, just a technicality. But I do think that as you get to know someone for the purpose of marriage, you need to have not only, because obviously we're going to say her parents.
Yeah.
But also you need to have the church and the leadership of the church on board.
Yeah.
Because they know you, they watch over your soul, and they know her, and they watch over her soul.
Yeah.
So if they think that you are not able to take care of anyone spiritually or financially, then you shouldn't move forward.
Yeah.
And they are going to have your best interest.
They're actually going to be protecting you in that case.
And her as well.
Totally.
Just assuming that the church, the leadership of the church says, I mean, he's an amazing guy, she's an amazing girl, they should move forward. Then I believe he needs to go directly to her parents, her dad, and if the dad's not in the picture, mom, or someone if she doesn't have parents,
her authority,
someone who's authority, who's in the picture, but dad being the number one person who needs to talk things through with him. And hopefully they have a relationship. This isn't just out of the blue where he just parachutes someone, says, "Hi, my name is John, and I'd like to marry your daughter." But there is more than just a relationship. Questions have been asked. There's no surprises. But
they've discussed those things.
And they've discussed this before.
So ultimately, in terms of...
That's best case scenario, right?
Yeah, best case scenario. Okay, so if we just define our sort of like sphere there, for them to get married, they need to have permission from elders of the church. And then both sets of parents. So let's say either set of parents says no. You have elders, the other set of parents is on board, and you have one set that says, no, we're not going to do it. Various reasons. What would we do? How would we counsel them? Are they allowed to get married at that point?
No, of course not. Okay. I would say no.
Biblically, why?
Because their authority are the parents here. So they probably know something that the leadership doesn't know from the church. Or maybe they just said, hey, we want her to finish college. Or we want her to finish this. Or we don't think right now, based on what we've seen, you know each other enough. Or,
whatever.
You can put it whatever, right? It could be... there could be a biblical reason there that we don't know about.
Totally.
But even if it's a preference issue like, hey, we want her to finish school, or we want you to be able to provide, you can't be both of you be in school at the time. I don't think that's wrong for the parents to say that.
So the parents have at that point that break, that authority. So and just biblically,
unless they're asking you to sin.
Hold on, we'll get back to that. So Ephesians 6:1. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. So at that point, both the male and the female partner here in this potential marriage have to obey their parents. If either set of parents says no, they need to stop and wait. And then it says, honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with a promise, so that it may be well with you, and that you may live long on the earth. In other words, your parents have your best interest in mind
Yeah.
most of the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
In which case, like, it's important for you to submit to those things. So even as elders, as leaders in a church, we would say, like, hey, if your parents are not giving you permission, you need to submit to your parents.
Yeah.
We would actually encourage them to do that. Okay, so that being said, the next sort of like iteration or the next sort of consideration, now we have that idea. What if you had a person who was in a situation where they couldn't, or, you know, the parents are ultimately asking them to sin? Is there ever a time when you would say, okay, it's okay to transcend or disobey your parents and proceed in marriage?
If they're asking them to sin, yes.
Okay.
If they're saying, hey, we want to arrange a marriage with an unbeliever because it's convenient for our kingdom,
Yeah.
then I would say, no, absolutely no. Like, you need to follow.
Yeah.
You're not able to sin at that point. And even I would even say this, and I think that if for some reason the parents say, hey, we don't like him,
Yeah.
that's not a biblical reason,
Yeah.
right?
He doesn't come from the right family.
Yeah, he doesn't come
He's
from
not
the
the right
right
race.
Yeah, he's
He
not the
doesn't-
right race. I will still not get married, but I would pray.
Yeah, pray.
And I would get tons of counsel from the church and just say, and try to appeal, a godly appeal to the parents. But I think that prayer, as you know, it's such an important part of this, that everything you're doing, you have to bathe in prayer. And I think that in this case, I would tell them, please don't get married.
Yeah.
And I pray and try to appeal to your parents. And you and I know of cases where parents said no, they didn't like him or they didn't like her.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, prayer, tons of good godly counsel.
Yeah.
The
Patience.
patience. The fact that the couple was trying to do, God's will.
Yeah.
That worked on the parents, so they're like, of course you can't get married.
Yeah.
I mean, and maybe that's what it takes,
Yeah.
right? Or so it might not be a biblical reason, but they're not asking them to sin. To tell them, hey, we don't want you to get married. It's not to say now, hey, you need to marry an unbeliever.
Yeah.
Or we don't believe in marriage, so don't get married. Just live together.
Yeah.
That's simple, right?
Yeah, totally. So those are caveats. So there are places where we would say, hey, like, it's okay to step outside the scope of your parents' authority, but only when they're asking you to sin, and that would be done under the care specifically of the elders of the church, who are then helping you think through that.
Yeah.
It's not something like, well, it doesn't matter what my parents say; they're unbelievers, so whatever.
Yeah.
No matter believer or unbeliever, we would counsel that person to submit to that, and then appeal to the parents and pray and see if the Lord would do that work in their hearts.
Well, I there was a couple I knew. She was older. They were both older.
Yeah.
And unbelieving family.
Yeah.
So when he went and asked for her hand in marriage, she had been living on her own for, I think it was 15 years.
Yeah.
Since college.
Yeah.
And so the parents were like, well, what's it to us? She can do whatever she wants to do.
Yeah.
But I think it meant so much, and it was an opportunity for the gospel, that he was like, no, I want you to be.
You have to give me that.
Yeah, I want your yes. And
Yeah.
I want you to walk your daughter.
Like it or
down
not, you
the
have
aisle.
this obligation.
And for him, he was like,
what?
hey, she's an independent woman.
Yeah.
But I think that means that meant the world to them, even though they're unbelievers.
Yeah, they're even unaware of
yeah.
how important that was.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So, so just to summarize, we would say submit to your parents,
Always.
submit to your elders,
Always.
trust that the Lord has your best interest in mind.
Yes.
Even if you desperately want to get married, the
Yeah.
parents know it, and you need to submit to them.
Yeah.
And then appeal to them.
Yeah.
Put yourself into godly counsel
Yeah.
where you're going to get help.
Yeah.
And then pray like crazy and ask the Lord to change
Yeah.
their hearts.
Yeah.
And then over time, if it's evident that maybe the motivations in the parents' hearts who are saying no are sinful, or they have very unbiblical views of
Yeah.
marriage, whatever, then that can be like counseled through by the elders to help that couple move toward marriage outside the scope of their parental care.
Yeah.
Super helpful, guys. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Of course, man. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I hope that's helpful for you. If you have questions on that or any other topic, you can always email us at info@faithbibleoc.org.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.